Hi, my name is Josue Batista. Welcome to this special segment of What and Why First. Today I have a very special guest. Our guest is Mathieu Rebeiro. He works in management consulting. He is focused on financial services and specializes in process and automation design. He has 15 years of experience helping businesses exceed their goals and deliver exceptional client experiences. Welcome, Mathieu, to this event of What and Why First. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation. So, Mathieu, tell us something that is unique about you.
Fun fact about me is I have traveled for one of my vacations to the Arctic in Canada, and I was there for about a week, and I went out on the tundra, followed the wildlife officer around on some of their travels in the local area, saw some herds of caribou, watched them track some polar bears. It's quite the experience. I actually almost got run over by a herd of caribous while we were out there.
That sounds like a very unique experience. I'm glad that you had the opportunity to do that. I've never been in a place as cold as that, but I can just imagine. In the case of your space, the space that you work on on a regular basis, how would you define smart automation? What does that mean?
I think what's happening right now is there is an evolution happening in the world of automation, which is making automation tools easier to use and more accessible to a wider pool of individuals than what was previously available. So my point on automation not being new, I mean, automation in the past, although organizations were using automation to help their businesses, typically it was only in the hands of people in the IT space. Whereas today, IT is still very much involved in automation, but the simplification of some of the tools and the intuitiveness of kind of how you learn how to use them and apply them, since there's been improvements in that area, now you have people who traditionally would not be involved or participating in automation work, who now are. People in operational roles, even people in sales roles in some organizations I've seen are actively involved in automation. By active, I mean some of them are actually building automations themselves to help themselves in their current role. It's really a huge enabler that we're seeing in the industry, whether it's financial services or even outside. Everyone's realizing now that automation is accessible more so than it ever has been.
Right. And what you are describing, I'm oversimplifying tremendously here, Mathieu, but I use the term democratization of technology, right? I mean, what would be, in your experience, easy area, low-hanging fruit for organizations that are thinking about automation to start?
So if you pick one of the big automakers today in North America, even the world, you'll see that what's new for them is they're now using automation tools, software automation tools, to help with their business processes that complement, their physical processes. So although they may have robots helping them build a car, they'll be using software now that helps them with their reporting, software that helps them, or bots or automations that helps them with manual, repetitive, rule-based tasks. And not necessarily all of it, but some of it could be automated with a lot of simple automation tools available in the marketplace. And in doing so, you can then create capacity and free up time for some of these individuals, regardless of, again, roles, whether it's HR or accounting or sales or operations or shared service groups, essentially free up capacity to help them and help companies do more with the same resources.
I recall that over time, if you have been in the corporate environment for a significant amount of time, like me, I have been more about 15 years. I remember, for example, when more powerful tools were available to the average user, like take Excel, for example, or access. And in the IT mind, they created this fragmented landscape of business logic and rules that were in everybody's desktop. I believe the tools available now allows you for some centralization of that business logic and that knowledge, correct? And even the reusability of knowledge across the users of a particular software, correct?
With some of the automation tools available in the marketplace that are user-friendly, that are intuitive, that are accessible and available to individuals outside of the IT space, there also are many good resources out there that will outline what governance looks like when you're setting up an automation program. And in many cases, at least from what I've seen and experienced, enabling and empowering your workforce with some of these automation tools actually creates more clarity and transparency around your business and your business processes than many companies have ever had before. And when you have the right governance in place too, both IT and business start to learn a lot more about their processes, and it helps to create standards around those processes, and understanding about what opportunities exist to improve those processes. So in many cases, it's a huge plus from my perspective, more so than it is a risk in enabling individuals who traditionally don't operate in this space. It really, if it's structured right, you can do a lot with those extra resources. You're essentially opening up your IT department to say, hey, normally you would be doing 100% of these things. Now you still have a lot of work to do. You're still busy, but you're busier with more complex use cases. And the more simplified use cases that were consuming time for you before, now you can get help from people outside of IT to free up your time to work on those bigger, more complicated things that require programming knowledge that you previously didn't have the time to do.
So, Matthew, we are approaching the wrap-up of our conversation. Have been great so far, understanding and getting a better ideas to the opportunities for a smart automation. If you were to say, automation, the what and why, what would it be?
I would say probably one of the best ways I would describe it as smart automation is breaking down traditional barriers within businesses by empowering and enabling operational resources to solve their own business problems.
Thanks a lot, Matthew, for making this What and Why First segment so special. We have learned a lot about smart automation, and I look forward to keeping in touch with you and learning more along the way. And to all of you, until next time, cheers!